We come to you this Black History Month, bringing together 6 of our esteemed financial advisors to showcase their perspectives on being a financial advisor, being independent, being a business owner, and being a part of the Black community in this industry. We'll share stories, experiences, insights, and go around the table to highlight this community of advisors. Our advisors come from all walks of life, different career journeys, and they are all building their businesses in different ways. We'll cover how they came to be financial advisors, what unique challenges they face as Black advisors, why they chose the independent advisor path, and how we as an industry can better support the Black community. Called out mentorship as one of the primary barriers, that you can face if you don't have one as a new entrant into the industry, or a strength if you do find a mentor. So, do any of you have mentors currently, or did you have mentors when you started in the industry? And in your experience, if we could just expand on what role you think mentorship plays in the success of financial advisors.
I think that we all should have, even if it's not a formal mentoring relationship, I think we all should have someone who is more senior, whether it be senior having been in the business for a longer time, or senior in age, or just experience. Maybe they run a different type of business. We all need to have a collective group of people that we can reach out to just to ask questions, to inquire. Because one thing about being independent is that it is very different than working at the wirehouses, right? When we're at the wirehouses, we have all these specialists who are walking in our office every day. They're around, you collaborate a little bit more. You have your product sponsors coming into the building all the time. So you're having a lot of conversation about product and strategy in that regard. So, I think any financial advisor absolutely needs to have quote unquote mentors. Our industry is so deep and so broad that not one of us can know everything about all things all the time. So it helps to have people who are not only in your circle, but in your corner that you can lean to talk to ask questions, to answer questions, provide feedback for anything.
Danica, to that point, that's a really large reason why we have our LPL advisor business communities, is making connection points with advisors of similar backgrounds, maybe serving similar investors, and giving those more informal, or it could develop into a more formal mentorship opportunity, but at least at the bare minimum, exchanging of best practices and thoughts. So yeah, totally agree with that.
I think you're always learning. I mean, I've always wanted to know what the best we're doing. I don't care about production. I want to know what it is that you're doing that I can learn from. And I've been fortunate that throughout the 30 years, I have picked up mentors of all races and nationalities, but it really boils down to we have something in common. Either, we click at a function. So I tell folks, you can meet your mentor by attending Focus, and every single opportunity I get a chance to be as part of a group setting, I'm deciding who does this person, what do they know that I don't know? And I'll reach out to them and learn something from them. As I was making the transition to independence, I sought out a person already had done it before me, a person that I, doesn't look like me, but we've been good friends for years at the same firm. He was always a top producer. We were always competing for the awards and accolades. When he left, went independent. So he said, here's what you got to do first. Get your advisory book. And he gave me a blueprint for success. And the mentorship doesn't always have to look like us, because let's face it, there aren't that many of us. But as we are joining groups within our organizations now and coming together, I've seen many of these folks here on calls, and I'm knowing a little bit about their expertise, where they're located. I might not be in that area, but a client may have a friend move to there, and we're starting to build these informal networks that are all inclusive. And I think that's important. I believe that the secret to being in this industry a long time is to try to always be learning and take it from the people that are doing it, and then adapt it and make it your own, and then try to give that expertise back to others that ask you. So I don't mind helping anybody asking me a question, and vice versa, as opposed to I'm going to hoard this information that I got because I don't want them to get better. And I think that is vital to survival.
And I wholeheartedly agree with Terry, because it is very difficult to have a conversation with Terry or Lee or just one of the guys who are more senior who don't mind sharing. It's difficult to have a conversation with them and walk away not having learned anything.
Right.
Because they exude their knowledge, their experience, and their expertise. So just by having a brief conversation, now we know Terry likes to talk a lot. The benefit is
you gotta step in his office and know that you have an hour.
And he's dropping gold nuggets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always something that can be very impactful for our practices. So it's a beautiful thing.
I definitely would piggyback on that. Reaching out to people and really participating in events that you go to, going to different industry events, connecting with people. My staff here, they always mess with me because I enjoy going to events because typically I am the only Black person. Everybody knows who I am. So when I go there, you start reaching out to people that are like-minded, regardless of race. So you look at those people that are very determined, that are have a great process, and that you connect with. All of a sudden, you have a mentorship program. So I have mentors in Chicago, in Colorado, in California that I talk to consistently. They all are white, happen to be white, but we have a connection and we share ideas, and I learn things from them. One guy in Chicago brings in $30 million a year from seminars, and I pick at his brain all the time. And then since I've been with LPL, I've seen, great connection with the Black Advisor Network. And then I had some ideas about, niching down in my business. So the first person I reached out to was Lee Bethel, and he gave me everything. And so he's like, we need to stay in contact. This is what you do. Step one for, 401k and benefits. This is what you do here. And very open. So being open to everybody is the key for Black advisors, especially because people want to help. And so you want to attract the people and repel people. So you want to attract the people that you have a connection with that are willing to help you and repel those that don't. And so be open to that completely, because the opportunity is there if you just like anybody that works hard at this business will be successful. And so that's why I like it.
Say that again?
I said, we're going to need that on a shirt. That was a good one. But I think to your point, it's so important, right? Because sometimes, like Danica said, when you go independent, it is so siloed, right? It's like you're kind of off to the side by yourself, and you're trying to figure out how to run your practice, build your business, how to, be in the business and also grow your client base, and having that mentorship and being proactive to find it. Sometimes you're not going to find your mentor just kind of sitting around, or even a mentor or advisor sitting around in your office, being frustrated at why you can't do something. You have to kind of be able to pick up the phone and not be scared to reach out to whomever, right? It doesn't have to be someone that looks like you. I mean, that's how I got to LPL. I was actually at a networking event when I was down working at another firm down on Wall Street. And, just got to talking to someone who had just come on board with LPL, and we just stayed in contact for quite some time. And he became quite a really good mentor of mine. And that really is what brought me here. And I think that's really important, right? You have to be open to having those conversations, starting those dialogues. And it may not traditionally talking about finance, but what is it about growing your business? Even if it's someone who's not necessarily inside the industry sometimes, and it could just be a very successful business owner, even be able to be open to having those individuals on your mentorship or kind of your advisory team as well. But really being able to pick up the phone and seek others that are at your company and to help them do the things that you need to do to grow and to learn.
And to piggyback on that, Dana, I think it is important to have people outside of this industry. So I have a mentor that was a professor of entrepreneurship at one of the schools here in Houston, and he helps from a business standpoint, how you run your business, how your branding looks, your marketing, what's your messaging. And he brings ideas from other industries that he mentors people on that you can bring to financial services. A lot of times in financial services, you're very siloed and you go to only financial services events, financial services marketing, it becomes a perpetual perpetual thing. So the only way you get new ideas is to step out of that comfort zone and get other industry expertise.
Yeah. And I mean, to really quickly, a lot of us came on this side because we wanted that level of creativity, right? We were so pigeonholed to who we had to be prior to becoming independent. And now that we're here, it's like, wow, we really get to be our, to have our own voice and to show up and have that come through on everything that we do, whether it's our website or seminars or even just, basic conversations. So that's a really good point.
All great advice. Definitely building out your team, not being afraid to look outside of the industry for that entrepreneurial advice, and being willing to give back once you have that wealth of knowledge, sharing it with others. I think those are all great points.